Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Butterflies Poison. I have a bird in my face. Um, just so you know, the bird is with me, and he's literally in my face because he hasn't settled down yet. So it'll be fun trying to talk. But anyway, we are just continuing. We were at Kyoko's party, and the tiger meat was rancid. Just kind of like a funny little detail, like, oh, everyone just kept eating, even though we're all gonna die of food poisoning now. Good job, Kyoko. Trying to kill the upper class. I don't know. Anyway. Miss Spacey, we should go home. Mizuhito whispers around the time the party is in full swing. Come on, before one of the guests approaches us to chat. You're right, we finished our meals, so... what are you guys whispering about? I don't know if that's Kyoko or Shiba. Somebody is saying that. A hand grabs Spacey by the shoulder, and she nearly drops the teacup in her hand. Oh. She bets if she turns around now, she'll find Shiba standing right behind her with a bemused look plastered on his face. Oops, I startled you, huh? You could have said something. Sheesh, heavens above. Your table isn't here, so I didn't expect you to just appear behind me. It's so funny that we were accompanying each other. Like, he's like, oh, I'm bringing her, and Kyoko put us at different tables. Interesting. Sorry. Shiba, the two of us are going home. You're staying, right? Mizuhito rises from his seat and asks, his tone careful. We need to check up on our mother, so sorry, but we're leaving. I see. All right, I'll get a car ready for you. Shiba nods, funnily enough, without showing any resistance, and leaves the two of them alone. Spacey can't help but think that something is amiss. She was sure that man would do everything in his power to stop her from leaving. Not long after Shiba's gone, Kyoko walks toward their direction, a cheerful smile on her face. Oh, I heard the two of you were leaving already. Yes, we apologize for being in such a hurry. No problem at all. I know you're worried about Shigeko. And then a man in black attire approaches Kyoko and whispers in her ear. Looks like your car is ready. I see. Well then, please excuse us. I do feel like Mizuhito and Kyoko now have the same... There's too much similarity there in my brain. Well, following Mizuhito's cue, Spacey rises from her seat. But then Kyoko squeals. Oh, dear me, I forgot to do something important. Pardon me. Mizuhito inquires in puzzlement, and Kyoko smiles at the two of them. Today, I brought a few jewels that I'd love to hand over to Spacey, and I want her to take her pick. Oh, she's trying to buy me with jewelry. I'm into it. What? To me? I apologize, but we cannot possibly accept such a thing. Surely your gems will not suit my sister. Mizuhito is like really so mad about everybody trying to give me shit. That's rude. Do you not think I'm beautiful? You think her gems are like better looking than me? My current ones, yes. Which is why I'm going to have her choose from the more modest jewels that I used to wear when I was a young girl myself. It's been a while since I last spoke to a girl Spacey's age. Talking to her makes me happy, and I hope she'll allow me to present her with this gift. Kyoko extends her pale hand to grasp Spacey's slender fingers tightly. What do you think, my lady? Will you accept them for me? I'll only have you look at the ones that'll surely look amazing on you. I'm happy for the offer, but the car is waiting. And it won't take long, I promise. The master can leave first, and I'll send you home later. No, I will wait for my sister. Oh, are you sure? I wouldn't want to force you to be away from your mother for longer than necessary. But you look like you were in a hurry, and I know it's my fault for having forgotten about this and for stopping you. She's so conniving. I love it. She's like, oh no, I really mustn't make you stay. You go run along. The drama in this between the love interests is great. Mizuhito seems unsure as he glances over at Spacey. It's really 3 out of the 5. Well, 6, because Fujita's fine too. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, half of them are just really dramatic. She knows it's not exactly their mother's condition that's making Mizuhito eager to go home. It's because he isn't terribly fond of parties like this. But with the car waiting and Kyoko's encouragement that he can return first, he can't backtrack and insist to stay here longer. He can't forcibly drag his sister home with him either. Brother, I'll be fine on my own. Besides, I can't possibly turn down Lady Kyoko's kind offer. I'll be right behind you. If you say so. Leaving you behind doesn't sit well with me, though. You two are really close. You don't know the half of it. I mean, we don't know the half of it yet, but we know what's gonna happen. It just hasn't yet, but seriously. The corners of Kyoko's eyes crinkle when she smiles at the siblings. Rest assured, I'll be a responsible chaperone and make sure that she arrives home safely. Right. Very well. Mizuhito nods, albeit reluctantly. He bids them farewell. The shoulders beneath his casual kimono are slumped, and he looks lonesome as he trudges out of the hall. Aww. Guilt washes over Spacey as she sees her brother off. Come to think of it, she's pretty positive that her brother doesn't think well of Kyoko, but he wouldn't tell her why. And the master looks a bit dejected, doesn't he? Kyoko's voice takes Spacey back to her senses and draws her gaze away from her brother's retreating back. Oh, please forgive him. I think my brother's just a bit exhausted. Yes, I don't blame him. Your family's had to endure one misfortune after another. I invited you in hope. Yeah. I invited you in hope that the party could serve as a distraction, but I think the party only made him more tired. No, of course not. I was happy you invited me. I love you, Bird, but you can't sit where you're sitting because every time I talk and move my chin, I'm like smacking you, and I don't understand how that's comfortable for you. I love you. You really are an adorable little lady. Oh, you're finally here. She follows Kyoko's line of sight to find Shiba walking toward them with a cigarette in his hand. Oh, I take it the master went home first? He did. So? Come on, I'm waiting for you to say something. Let's see. Thank you for your consideration. Much obliged. Is it good enough? That's it. You're a boring man. You could have offered me 3 rounds. Not happening. Just kidding. I make some funny jokes, don't I, Spacey? Yes. Although we're like, what is going on here? Now be sure to make this man buy tons of precious gems that suit you. What? And that's how I got all the jewels I used to wear as a young girl. It dawns on Spacey then. Shiba asks Kyoko to separate her from Mizuhito. Shiba knows that Mizuhito won't be able to openly refuse Kyoko when she's forced her way through. Should have known. Hey, what's that sigh for? I knew there was just no way you'd let me leave without a fight. I had to, okay? I had to resort to this sort of method to separate you from that master who's sticking to you like glue. You even dragged Lady Kyoko into your little plan. I'm not impressed at all. I'm a little impressed. I mean, come on, let's be real. Like, wow, underhanded. Bravo. I don't mind, though. Kyoko chuckles as if she just said something funny. Shiba's an old acquaintance of mine, and you're my favorite cute little lady. I'll do anything for the two of you. Lady Kyoko... Kyoko has definitely misunderstood something. Spacey remembers Shiba telling her that he told Kyoko they're engaged. Maybe Kyoko thinks Shiba and her are in love. She doesn't know how to feel about this. If she corrects Kyoko's misunderstanding now, it'll mean hurting Kyoko's good-natured efforts. However, if she goes with the flow, it'll probably lead her to actually marry Shiba, and the possibility terrifies her. I mean, that's where we're going with this, though. Well, that's surprising. Never pegged you as someone who's capable of feeling such heartwarming emotions for other people. I always had this image that you were a cold woman. Of course, I wouldn't go to these lengths just for you, Shiba. I like lovely little ladies, remember? I feel like she's just outing herself here. You're a terrifying woman. Mustn't let my guard down around you either, huh? Shiba circles his arms around Spacey's shoulder and grabs them tightly. Startled, she looks up at Sheba. Through his tobacco smoke, Spacey can see Sheba looking down back at her. Well, looking down at her with a fond expression. You look like the perfect couple. What? I'm almost jealous. Standing side by side like this, the two of you are picture perfect. Spacey's stomach sinks and her heart grows heavier by the second. Sheba and I aren't even engaged. If they were, she wouldn't be feeling this miserable. Having another person watch their temporary act turns out to be far more uncomfortable than she thought. Should I tell Lady Kyoko the truth? What should she do? Keep quiet. Be honest. I feel like being honest pushes Sheba away, and that'd be a bad thing. Like, even though, okay, Spacey wants to be honest, but that would be bad for Sheba's route. So I feel like keeping quiet is the best way to get to the good ending that she doesn't want to get to. It's kind of convoluted, but yes, keep quiet. I like to make guesses. I can't tell her the truth. Yoko's gone through great lengths to set up the stage for them. She can't bring herself to tell her that they aren't engaged. Yoko seems to enjoy watching Spacey and Sheba standing next to each other like this. She appears to be in a good mood. And Spacey isn't courageous enough to destroy her dreams and spoil her mood. Come on, you two. I've booked a room for you, so go on. Be on your way. You can't stay here forever, can you? Oh, dear! Yeah, you're right. We'll take you up on the offer, then. What? A room? Yes, a room. Unless you have a penchant for doing it in front of an audience, my lady. Lady Kyoko! I'm kidding. Here, take this. The lady takes out a key from her bosom and hands it to Sheba. After taking the key and without letting go of Spacey's shoulders, Sheba begins walking. I don't think we signed up for this. I signed up for this. I don't think she signed up for this. She panics. She doesn't even have the slightest bit of intention to spend time together with this man. In a room, alone. Wait, Sheba! What? Let me go. I don't want to go. Don't worry. I won't do anything that you hate. I'm not drunk today either. I won't do anything that you hate. That's not really good enough, you know? Do you think I can trust you after what you've done? Calm down. Just want to give you something. I bet you do! I want to give you something in a hotel room. Alone. What? Something that I got with Kyoko's help. I just want to give it to you. Well, okay, then it's not what we're thinking. Obviously, you know he wasn't gonna, go that far. Maybe! I won't do anything you don't like. In the end, Sheba took her to the room. At a complete loss, Spacey moves to stand by the window. The moment she steps into the room, however, a box placed on the top of the table catches her attention. The box is wrapped with beautiful ribbons, and she realizes that it must be the something that Sheba was talking about. Well, it's not his dick in a box, because that would be attached to him. Sheba takes a bottle of wine from the bedside and opens it. With swift movements, he pours some of the contents into two glasses. And don't just stand there. Sit. Have a drink with me. No way. If my brother knows, I'll never hear the end of it. Are you scared of him? I'm not scared. But as far as he knows, I'm here to pick some of Lady Kyoko's jewels. He'll be suspicious if I come home smelling like liquor. You can always tell him that the lady made you drink, though. It's true that she's a heavy drinker. But the wine's a present from the lady. It's good wine, too, so let's not be rude toward her. Ugh. You knew I wouldn't be able to refuse if you mentioned Lady Kyoko. Pfft, she does seem to like you a lot. Now that she's learned the wine is from the lady, she feels obliged to give it a taste. Still, she can sort of understand why the lady would get the wrong idea about the nature of her relationship with Sheba. But for her to go as far as to prepare a room for them? She can't wrap her head around it. She's like, oh, you're engaged, you must be wanting to have sex before you get married. That's fine, go to the room. That just tells you what kind of a Lady Kyoko is. When we're in her route, she's gonna be like, we're not allowed to get married, but that doesn't mean we can't do things. She won't even be surprised if someone tells her that Lady Kyoko herself was the one who came up with the idea to trick her brother. Come on, toast with me. Sheba hands the glass to Spacey, the red wine inside it slushing with the movement. She takes it reluctantly and sighs. We already raised our glasses in a toast before the meal. Well, we have to redo our toast. Tiger meat didn't live up to the wonderful rumors about it. Turned out to be the worst meal I've ever eaten. This is where we giggle and agree, and then we bond over how horrible that was. Sheba laughs, his tone thick with sarcasm, before gently tapping Spacey's glass with his own. The clinking sound is inviting, coaxing her to take a little sip. The wine spreads inside her mouth, the bitter taste and acidity soaking her tongue. We gonna get drunk and screw. Actually, just a whiff of the wine is enough to nearly intoxicate her. Okay, so we a lightweight. This ain't good. You're frowning. Is it that bad? Well, yes. It tastes awful. You'll learn to appreciate the taste. Sheba tips his glass, emptying the liquid inside in one gulp, and then he takes the box located in front of them and pushes it towards Spacey. Confused, she looks back and forth from the box to Sheba. Sheba laughs and with his eyes encourages her to open the box. With slow and careful movements, Spacey unties the ribbon and unfolds the wrapping paper. She then unfolds the lid of the box and... What? This is... What do you think? You don't like it? No, but I can't accept something this expensive. A beautiful pearl necklace gleams inside the box. Oh my... Do you think that they knew, like, the naughty connotations of a pearl necklace? You know what I mean? They were like, let's put this in there. See if any dirty degenerates, like, make inappropriate thought. Like, you know what I mean? We're going up to a hotel room and he gave me a pearl necklace. I'm just... Come on! Stop it! There's something wrong with me. Too much time on the internet. There's a faint tint of coral pink mixed in the white, resulting in a soft hue. The necklace twinkles like the expensive piece of jewelry that it is, but it's also incredibly lovely. It sounds pretty. Like slightly like pink pearls? Pinkish ones? This is too much for me. I can't accept something this fancy. Quit it with the nonsense. I had this necklace specially made for you. If you refuse to put it on, then who am I going to give it to? But still... Go on, put it on. Wait, actually, let me put it on your neck. Confident this necklace will look amazing on you. I mean, how do you say no to this man after this? We're like, God damn you, ruffian! And then he buys us a necklace, and you're like, starting to win me over by buying me nice shit. Oh, Sheba! We get a CG for this? Oh, that'd be nice. Sheba takes the necklace out of the box, and, ignoring Spacey's flustered response, grabs her hand and leads her to stand in front of a huge mirror. And then, with careful movements that a man like him shouldn't be capable of, he circles the necklace around Spacey's neck. Since Spacey's wearing a kimono, her chest is entirely hidden beneath the fabric. Still, Sheba fastens the pearl necklace. It's twined around her slender neck, looking surprisingly beautiful against her kimono. That would have been a good time for a CG. You can imagine it in your head. See? What do you think? It suits you just as I expected. You look gorgeous. Sheba studies Spacey's face from his spot behind her. He takes a breath and releases it, seemingly satisfied. I mean... You know, I'm just saying, a little suave. Not just be like, oh, I picked out something fancy, but something fancy that looks good on you and suits you. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, I picked out that gaudy bauble because, like, well, me, it would work because I like my shit gaudy. But you know what I mean? Like, you didn't just pick out the most expensive, flashiest looking thing where you're like, oh, this looks cheap. I know it cost a lot, but it looks horrible. You know what I mean? You picked out something elegant and classy and nice. Specially made for me, and it looks beautiful. Like, I'm just saying, it's a little swap. Daisy herself is surprised that the color of the pearl blends so perfectly with her own skin tone. She's never put on something so expensive before. She's never been interested in stuff like this. But the beauty of the gleaming necklace takes Spacey's breath away, and she can't stop staring. See? He's winning us over with baubles and jewels, and I'm into it, okay? You like it, don't you? Well, yes, because it's so beautiful. But are you still going on about that? Sheba scowls, looking a bit annoyed. Why can't you get it? I got this necklace for you. Do get it, and I'm grateful for your feelings, but I still don't think I can accept this. Why? I just can't. As Spacey tries to take the necklace off, Sheba cuts in to prevent her, and a little scuffle ensues. Spacey raises her hands to unclasp the necklace behind her neck, but Sheba gets a hold of them. Spacey tugs back, struggling to break free of his hold. Don't break the necklace. Let go of my hands! Why are you trying to take it off? And do you hate the pearls? No, I don't. I'm really happy, but I can't accept it. Shh. Sheba's face twists in anger. Oh! Well, now we can see our pretty necklace as he's hugging us from behind. CG time now. Interesting, he looks so desperate. In that instant, he wraps his arms around Spacey, hugging her so tightly she can feel the air leave her lungs. Oh, is that how badly you hate me? Aww. Like, he gets all angry and then he's like, do you hate me? Like, we're hurting his feelings. It's really good because, like, I mean, he's got ups and downs, you know what I mean? There are moments where you're like, I understand why she dislikes him, because he comes across kind of, like, rude and a little, like, full of himself and shit, and you're like, kind of arrogant, and I'm not into, but then you have these little weak moments, and you're like, it's kind of cute, even though you just got a little aggressive. Like, what are you doing to me? His voice is strained. Eyes wide open, Spacey stares at Sheba through the mirror. Sheba has his head buried against the column of her neck. She can't make out his expression, and Spacey wonders if Sheba is crying. No, you're wrong. I don't. Then why? Why can't you just accept the necklace? Because the arms coiled around her are firm and unmoving, and for some reason, it makes Spacey want to cry. Sheba's feelings have filled her heart, stabbing at it like thorns. It hurts. It hurts so much she can't take it. Because I feel like you're trying to buy me with gifts, and I can't stand it. What? His voice is blank, a telltale sign that he hasn't expected her answer. Sheba loosens his grip around her ever so slightly. Taking the chance, Spacey quickly moves her hand to take the necklace off. Sheba grabs her hands, and she throws her strength into her movements, intent on pulling her hands from his grip. In that moment, oh no. I knew it. We were going to break the necklace. Oh! Hear the pearls falling. The necklace snaps. The pearls fall, rolling on the carpet. Spacey blanches. She raises her hand to cover her mouth. And for reasons unknown to her, fresh tears escape her eyes. Because, like, even though you don't think, you're trying to buy me, and I don't want you to think that that's going to sway me and whatever, but, like, now you just broke something and, like, you just broke a gift that someone gave you. And, like, yeah, it does feel bad. She can't bring herself to look at Sheba's face. And then that's going to make him feel worse, because he's like, what, do you hate me? No! And then we break the necklace, and he's like, God, you really do hate me, Jesus. That's not making him feel better. And then, someone bangs loudly on the door. Oh, Mizuhito. Hey, Sheba! Spacey! I know you're in there! Brother? So we didn't get in the car after all. Her brother, who was supposed to have gone home, apparently decided to stay behind. Probably got the location of this room out of Kyoko. The banging on the door continues. If her brother keeps this up, he's gonna hurt his hands. Spacey rushes toward the door, but she halts and turns around to look at Sheba. Sheba's face is pale and taut as he watches her. He's probably sad, too, because it was a very lovely necklace and we broke it. His gaze lacks its usual strong and forceful glint. If anything, there's a plea hidden beneath those eyes. Spacey feels as if someone has just grabbed her heart in their fist to crush it. She finds it hard to breathe. She realizes how badly she must have hurt this man. Yeah. I'm sorry. Sheba, Hey! Open the door! Open it now! Her brother's frantic voice cuts through the air. She's afraid people are going to gather around the room, curious about the commotion. Also, he thinks that inappropriate sexy times are happening. Look, we were just breaking... Don't open the door and say he was giving you a pearl necklace. Just don't say it that way. Don't phrase it. He was giving me a necklace made of pearl. I don't know if that's better phrasing. Your brother is a whore, so he's gonna think the inappropriate version of a pearl necklace, is all I'm saying. Macy scrunches her eyes shut and hastily wipes the tears rolling down her face. Brother, I'm all right. I'm going to open the door now. She raises her voice, and the violent banging on the door stops. Macy rushes to unlock the door and opens it. Mizuhito darts inside and pulls her into a tight hug. Macy vaguely registers it and just resigns herself to it, like he's thinking this man's, like, doing inappropriate shit to us. Oh gosh. Oh, Spacey. I'm so glad you're safe. Brother. He hugs her with all his might, and Spacey remembers the moment Sheba hugged her from behind. Sheba's embrace is not like her brother's. Her brother may be hugging her tightly, but his arms remain gentle. Sheba's arms, however, are passionate. It feels suffocating, like being trapped inside a hurricane. Brother, it's too tight. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. Mizuhito says, looking bashful, and loosens his grip around her. Spacey schools her face, hoping to look as normal as possible, before smiling at her brother. Gonna see this broken necklace everywhere. You shouldn't have been so excessive. We were just drinking. Yeah, but you couldn't have known what he would have done to you. Nothing would have happened because I was actually on my way to leave. Oh. Well, that's good to hear. Spacey lies through her teeth and Mizuhito looks relieved. She doesn't have the heart to present Sheba as the bad guy here. She hurt the man so badly not even a moment ago, she doesn't want to humiliate him any further. All right then. Your business here is done, right? Let's go home. Wait, brother. Come on, let's get out of here. Mizuhito doesn't wait for Spacey's response before pulling her forward. He's going to drag her away from the room. Spacey frantically glances back, but she can't see Sheba from her spot near the door. I kind of feel so bad for Sheba right now. Like, yeah, he's like gruff and a little inappropriate, but like, he's not bad guy, you know what I mean? He's just not delicate, and we're very mean to him, you know? And normally kind of plays it off and just gets a... I mean, okay, the, like, shoving your tongue down my throat was a little... But, like, at the same time... Oh, you can't throw it off. Oh, I was drunk. But... slightly inappropriate. I'm gonna give him a pass for it, because we're playing an Otome game. And when you're playing... when in the fantasy zone that we're in... sometimes shit that the people would do in reality are like, whoa, no! You know, in the fantasy zone that we're in, I'm gonna give him a pass for that, because I'm not mad about it. I'm not like, whoa, buddy, back the fuck off. It's like, it was a little inappropriate, but I'll give you a pass, because, like, I'm into it. And, like, he's not the perfect noble gentleman, but, like, he's not, like, a complete twat. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying... in his own way, and we're just like kind of being awful. Which, I mean, again, I'm not blaming her and being like, oh, you're being so mean. It's like, she's being mean, but it's like, she's not interested in him and he's kind of pushing it a little too much instead of like, look, let's just hang out. Okay, all right, well, he is being a little more forceful. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what makes it so good, though. Like, he's being a little bit forceful. She's pushing back harder. And then they're getting in these scuffles, and I kind of just like the drama. I'm here for it, you know? Again, and if you were watching in a TV show or you knew people like this in real life, you'd be like, could you two just not? Because you're not good for each other. Just stop it. This is not how it should go. Stop. But, like, in this game, oh, hell yeah, I'm into this drama. I'm here for this. Kind of like the enemies to lovers trope, sort of, but we don't hate him. We're just like, God, no, I don't want to marry him. I mean, I feel bad for him, though. No, he's awful. Well, but I mean, like, it's about as close to enemies to lovers as we're going to get. You know what I mean? That's like... Once they're back home, the ache deep in her breast continues. She can't get Sheba's expression out of her mind. What have I done? Sheba had the necklace specially created for her, but she reacted so harshly. She snapped it completely. Spacey didn't do it on purpose, and the accident came as a great shock. Why did I have to be so stubborn? She just couldn't accept the necklace. She doesn't want anyone to think that she's a girl who can be won over by expensive stuff. She doesn't want Sheba to think of her as that kind of girl. But why wouldn't he understand? Sheba's forceful with everything he does, and he's always brimming with arrogance. Exactly. But we're here for it. And given her personality, Spacey can't help but fight him. However, the face Sheba made when the necklace snapped was... Sheba... Tears burst forth once more. Sorry. Really sorry. For reasons that escape her, the word sorry plays on a loop inside her heart and refuses to go away. The end. Bad ending. I'm just kidding. In the middle of that night... No! Her mother's scream pierces through the darkness, yanking Spacey away from her sleep. Mother? It was a horrifying scream, and it reminded her of the incident that happened that night. As soon as the scream erupts, she can feel the entire manor stir awake. Spacey hugs her own trembling body. She's scared. What now? What's happening now? But she needs to go find out. Something must have happened to her mother, and she has to rush to her side. If she's just having a nightmare, and they threw this in like a drama swerve, like, stop it, game. I need to pull myself together. I fully expect them to do something like that, like, oh, it was just a horrible nightmare, and then we go on, and then our mother actually dies, like they're fucking red herring us. They're throwing a red herring at us. Like, you know what I mean? Oh my god. With shaky steps, Spacey makes her way toward the door of her room. She turns the doorknob with trembling fingers and opens the door when her mother screams again, the shrillness of her shriek reverberating through the entire corridor. She gulps, frozen to the spot. Her mother's shrieks sound like that of a wounded animal. She senses someone walking briskly along the corridor, and soon a long shadow looms over her. I was gonna say, if it's Majima, then I'm very sus. He shouldn't be in the house, you know what I mean? My lady... Fujita, what's wrong with Mother? Come on, my lady. Just come to her side. Fujita's instruction breaks her out of her stupor, and she finally can move her limbs, or our mother's having, like, a fit, and it's gonna, like, now die. And Fujita's words and expression tell Spacey that she needs to prepare herself for the worst. Her heart beats faster the closer she gets to her mother's room. I mean, wouldn't be unsurprised. I told you the mom was gonna die. The door to her mother's room has been left ajar. From the gap, she can see several maids flurrying about the room. Mother! She enters the room, clinging to Fujita, and the maids distance themselves from the bed to make room for her. She looks at her mother and her tousled hair. But her mother doesn't seem to be looking back at her. Oh, of course. Oh, sure. So we get a CG of our tormented mother. That's a little traumatic. Thanks for that. Oh, dear. Forgive me. Mother, please hang in there. Where is the doctor? Sir, someone's on their way to fetch the doctor, but they haven't returned. And the doctor sleeps like a log. It must be a challenge to wake him up. Mizuhito steps into the room with a panicked look on his face. Again, Shigeko doesn't show any signs of acknowledging his entrance. Please forgive me. My sin. Oh, my... Mother, this is Spacey. Please look at me. Her mother seems to be having a nightmare, and she keeps on shaking her head. Spacey grips her mother's hand, and her eyes land on a certain item. She gulps. How did she not notice it sooner? Near Shigeko's bed and on the floor next to her bed are countless scattered Chinese bellflowers. I'm just saying, that's sus as fuck. The sight makes it as if her mother is lying inside a coffin. Bellflowers... again. No! Forgive me! Forgive me! Eyes wide open, Shigeko writhes in agony. Come to think of it, her mother went into a similar state when she saw the bellflower near the dead body of her father, and since that day her mother had been keeping to herself in her room. Her reaction now must have also been caused by the bellflower. If her mother doesn't calm down now, her weakened heart won't be able to make it, and her very life may be threatened. Mother, please calm down! But her daughter's voice doesn't reach her. Like, we had all the violence and then Dad was dead. What the hell? It was like trauma that came out of nowhere. This is the, like, trauma that, like, if Mom doesn't die here, I'd be shocked. You know what I mean? Like, oh, thanks. We get to be with her through the trauma experience. I don't know which one's worse. Her mother's trapped deep inside her own world. I mean, it was kind of like, see, and then Majima just shows up. Shouldn't you be sleeping outside in the, like servants' quarters? Not in the house? How did you get... I mean, obviously people are running around and whatever, and it might have woken him up. But still, I'm just saying. Majima seems to be, like, the popular, like, favorite character, I think, for the most part. But I'm just saying. I'm a little sus of him. Until we know that none of our love interests have anything to do with our mom and our dad dying. Because if any of them do, it's Majima. I'm just saying, I'm sticking with that. I still love him, and we're still going to romance the shit out of him, but I just, you know... Madam! Huh? Oh, Majima! Majima rushes into the room, breathing ragged. Fujita instantly walks up to him with a grim look on his face. Oh, they sent Majima to get the doctor. But why was Majima available to get the doctor? You know what I mean? Again, he would have been sleeping in the servants' quarters, not in the house. Fujita probably, like, sleeps in the house. You know what I mean? There's probably, like, servants at all hours and that. Like, I'm just saying, okay, alright, I don't know. So that's out there anyway. Where is the doctor? Oh, no, Saburo went again. Saburo's on his way here with the doctor. Apparently the doctor hurt his back last night. Ugh, just when we need him the most. Shigeko wails again, her voice this time even higher than before. I wasn't going to scream too loud in your ear, sorry. Everyone around Shigeko holds their breath, watching the woman who's still lying on her bed with trepidation. Now there's a glowing white orb. Okay, Mom's dead. Surrounded by the bellflowers, Shigeko stops moving and her stiff facial features soften. I think she either passed out or she's dead. She extends her hand toward the ceiling, scratching the empty space. Oh, I think she's going to the light. Oh, you're here to pick Shigeko up, right? Everything turns quiet, tears rolling down her dried skin, and then she drops her hands. I'm pretty sure Mom just died. Eyes still wide open, Shigeko heaves a long sigh. Silence fills the air, their ears ringing with it. Mother? She isn't moving. Her pale face is still relatively stiff, but somehow she seems to be at peace. Madam. The maids begin sobbing. The air around them and the undeniable truth before their eyes speak to her mother's heart-wrenching end. No. She can't believe this is happening. Her mind's completely blank, incapable of forming thoughts. Her body knows, though. Knows what's just taken place. She's sure her body knows because her fingers start trembling on their own and tears begin streaming down her face. But her mind is yet to register the sadness. Turns out emotions come crashing down on someone in waves, moments after the event that triggered them. Macy's learning about it now, through the death of her mother. Sometimes they come out of nowhere. Days, months, weeks, years later. Forever. Mother! Mother! She screams until her throat feels like it's been scraped raw. Sadness floods into Spacey, pushing her at the seams and threatening to spill out. She's just lost her last parent. Be orphans now. The unending cycle of misfortune ever since the night of her birthday. Why did she have to be caught up in a hurricane of curses? Why is this her fate? Not so long ago, she and her family were living in peace. So why must they go through one painful experience after another? Macy's tears are still pouring out of her eyes, showing no signs of stopping anytime soon. Her tears fall onto her mother's hand in her grasp. Mother. She keeps calling after her mother inside her mind, again and again, each time stronger than the last, but her mother's eyes remain unseeing. It leads Spacey to hallucinate that this very room, which is filled with the silence of death, perhaps a gateway that's ready to suck her into the darkness of hell. The hopeless reality creeps around Spacey, and it silently permeates every fiber of her being. Shigeko no Miya has passed away. A month after the death of the previous Viscount, maybe she was eager to chase after him. Or maybe she was the one being chased. Spacey stares at the bellflowers scattered near her mother's pillow, and she can't tear her eyes away. The vivid blue bellflowers are like a funeral procession manifested, and they stare back at her, smiling without warmth. Fucking dramatic. The writing is like A+, though. Like, it's very poetic. You know what I mean? It's like, nicely done. The entire manor is quiet, as still as death itself. Well, Spacey leans on the couch, listening to the silence. Now I've lost my mother, too. Her mother's funeral ended quietly, held only before their closest relatives. Her mother was a social butterfly, a glamorous figure, when she was alive. Her funeral was a quiet and lonesome one. The decision to hold a quiet funeral was partly because Mizuhiro and Spacey didn't want to let even more inquisitive eyes see their family's misfortunes, and partly because a small funeral was apparently what their mother wanted, according to Fujita. Her mother told him she didn't want more people to look down upon the Nomiya family. She wanted her funeral to be held in secret should something happen to her. They managed to fulfill Shigeko's wish, and now a mantle of silence has settled upon the manor. The maids who came to care for her mother left, leaving one elderly woman, who has been working for the household for a long time, to do the manor's housework. Oh, okay, I'm like, the maids who came to care for her mother left. I mean, I guess it's because, like, they must have brought in more maids to help, but now you don't need them. Other remaining occupants of the manor included the butler, Fujita, the gardener, Majima, and the driver and handyman, Saburo. Fujita tried to dismiss Majima and Saburo since the household could no longer afford their services, but the two of them decided to stay, saying they have nowhere else to go. Fujita, you can't dismiss Majima. We're gonna marry him someday. In a whole other timeline. And honestly, I want you to dismiss Saburo, but like, with how creepy and weird, there's gonna be a bad ending where he does inappropriate shit to it, so like, that's why the game's gonna keep him here. I'm just saying. Gross. Be prepared. Majima continues to put effort into gardening, but she doesn't know what Saburo does when he isn't doing the tasks assigned to him. The spacious manor has been reduced to a hollow place in a matter of days. Sooner or later, someone else will come to claim the manor, and Spacey's all too aware of that fact. The sorrow of knowing that she's about to lose more, in addition to her parents, stays in her heart. Resentment, too, begins to take root in Spacey's heart at the same time. Chinese bellflowers. Yes, the Chinese bellflowers. The flowers were there when her father and mother passed away. Something is amiss here. Who put the flowers there? She feels like she's inside a drama, a mystery novel, a dramatic mystery otome game, perhaps. Whoever killed her father might be the same person that placed the flower on his body, or maybe the latter is the murderer's accomplice. If her hypothesis is correct, she wonders if it was also the same person who intentionally rushed her mother to her death. But why? What grudge is this person holding against my parents? That's the mystery! She's asked this question to herself before, shortly after her father's death. I mean, the mystery is who did it and why. Back then, she thought the anti-government criminals killed her father by mistake, but it turns out she was the one who was mistaken. The bellflower has to be a hint. But what does a flower allude to? Flower's name itself, the flower's definition in the language of flowers. The flower is not a hint. The flower absolutely is. The definition in the language of flower or the name? Well, okay, so my first thought was always, it's a Chinese bellflower. It's the Chinese mafia. They're after you because you borrowed money. That was always my first thought. But the flower's definition in the language of flowers could also be important. It could be either one of these. I don't know. It's definitely not the last one, though, so let's see. It is the flower's name itself. Okay. The name Bellflower. Oh, okay. All right, I wasn't what I was thinking. Chinese bellflowers. They also go by the name Kikyo. Perhaps the hint is hidden in the name of the flower. Bellflower. In case you didn't know how to spell bellflower, there you go. Ikyo. She tries separating the letters. Ugh, no, I don't understand. She isn't even that well versed about flowers to begin with. So even if there's a code hidden in the name of the flower, she doubts she's skilled enough to easily discover it. Don't go to Majima because he might be sus. Ugh, it's giving me a headache. Her mother must be the only one who knew about the significance of the flowers. Her mother, who had a weak heart, was terribly disturbed when she saw a Chinese bellflower in her father's hand. She would ask her about it, but she's no longer in this world. Anyhow, I can't mope around any longer. There's something fishy about the flowers, and I need to keep investigating. Someone killed her father, and now her mother. And the thing is even if nobody murdered them, I mean, why would they both have the bellflower? Like, that's obvious. But, like, you know what I mean? This is like when you're dealing with this kind of trauma and, like, grief, that you're like, somebody must have killed them. I need to find out. And I'm going to throw myself wholeheartedly into this because it's a way to process your grief. You know what I mean? Although in her case, I really do think someone killed your parents, because why do they both have Chinese bellflowers around? You know what I mean? That's definitely sus. She can't afford to stay still. She'll do something to find the culprit. At that moment, someone in the entry hall calls out a greeting. The voice reels Spacey back to reality. She takes a sharp breath and strains her ears. Shiba? Who could it be? After her mother's funeral, people seldom come to visit the manor. She feels uneasy, internally questioning who's visiting, and then she hears footsteps approaching the parlor before a series of soft knocks on the door. I think it's going to be extremely sweet if it's Shiba, because, like, he was really into you, he was trying to give you a gift, you broke it, you left, you hurt him a lot by not just rejecting the gift, but then breaking it. Like, I mean, there was a lot, and then he's still going to, like, show up after your mom dies to be like, are you okay? Like, I mean, I'm just saying, you know? Think about it. It takes a lot. If you were Shiba, and you were, like, trying to go after someone, you're like, oh, I'm trying to I like you, like, whatever, and they're like, nah, and you're like, come on, and they're like, nah, and you're like, I bought you a gift, and they're like, I can't take it, and you're like, why not, damn it, and then they break your gift, and then their parent dies, you'd, like, be like, you know, I feel like at that point, before their parent died, you should have been like, you know what? I'm out. You crazy bitch. You know what I mean? But he's still gonna show up. The man is desperate or really does love us. I don't know. Or he's just a lot better than we give him credit for. Well, she gives him credit for, you know? Also, it's his route, so of course he's gonna fucking show up at some point. Like, my lady, may I come in? Yes, of course. Vegeta, with his usual poker face, enters the room. Someone is here, and he wants to see you, my lady. Who is it? He seems to be one of Shiba's subordinates. Ah, so he sent someone else. Alright. So, a little bit less points for you, Shiba, than showing up yourself. But you either sent someone else because you thought we wouldn't want to see you, or you're still a little too hurt to see us. Still give you credit for sending someone, but not as much as if you came yourself. Shiba's subordinate. The vivid memories of that day stir awake in the back of Spacey's mind. The dinner party at Teikoku Hotel. Shiba inviting her to a room and giving her a pearl necklace. Phrasing game. The brutal sound of the necklace being snapped by accident. And then Shiba's pale complexion and hollow expression. You know, it would be amazing if he picked up all the pearls. You know damn well he picked up all the pearls and he's going to have the necklace redone. But, like, it'd be kind of amazing if he sent it along with this person. You know what I mean? My lady? Oh, sorry for spacing out. All right, I'll go meet this guest. Very well. I shall bring him into the parlor. Vegeta leaves the room. Spacey sighs deeply, trying to contain the loud beating inside her heart. She hasn't forgotten about what happened between her and Sheba the last time they met. She wants to apologize. She wants to go to him and apologize, but she doesn't know how. It's honestly the only thing on her mind right after the necklace incident. But then she had to face the death of her mother, and since then, she just couldn't think about anything else. Excuse me, my lady. I've brought the guest. Yes, please come in. Fujita opens the door, and with him is a slender, middle-aged man. When Spacey looks at him, she's a bit surprised. She was expecting Sheba's subordinate to be a man much younger than this, at least younger than Sheba.
Pardon my intrusion.
Welcome, my name is Spacey Nomiya. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The man bows deeply in front of Spacey's standing figure.
Please excuse me for coming unannounced. My name is Yamazaki, and I'm the secretary of Daido Yoko's president. I have come today on behalf of President Sheba.
There are a few strands of white mixed among his hair. His slim face has wrinkles on it which make him look fickle, and the sharpness of his gaze implies that he's probably a very skilled employee. A single glance at this man insinuates that Sheba's company is a successful one, at least successful enough for this man to be working under Sheba.
Please allow me to express my deepest condolences. I am truly sorry for your loss.
The man looks dead in the eyes. He has worked so hard, he is dead. He has corporate America face, okay? And he's working in Japan. I'm just saying. That is the face of everybody who works in corporate America. Like, I am dead inside. That's you on a Monday. On a Friday, it's like, woohoo! No, I actually enjoy my job. I mean, it's a job, so it's like, it's not like, it's not my dream job. It's not what I want to do for the rest of my life, but it's what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my life. So, like, it's fine, I guess. You know what I mean? Like when you were a kid, I want to be a dinosaur or an astronaut. I did not want to work in corporate America. So it was not my goal. But, like, I chose my career based on, like, well, I kind of have these skills, I guess, and I'm always going to have a job with computers and IT work, so, that's what I chose. Like, and honestly, like, it's not that bad. I'm starting new, like, stuff, learning new things, and, like, it was extremely stressful, because I'm like, I don't know how to do this, and there's a lot of stuff you want me to do in the next month, and, like, everybody knows I don't know it, though. Like, my team members are great, they're supportive. I'm like, but it's still like, oh god, that's just the stress that you're like, I have to do all this and I don't know what I'm doing. And today I was poking around, like, okay, this is the first thing, and I don't know, it's gonna take me a long time. And I actually did it. I figured it out. I'm like, oh. In like a couple hours, I was like, alright, nothing else is gonna be this easy. This was the easiest, smallest part, but, like, the fact that I figured it out on my own, very proud of myself. So, like, this is me on a Monday, and me on Friday, which is right now when I'm recording this, after figuring something out. Woohoo! Best day ever! But no, that's literally me inside, though. Thank you very much. We didn't announce my mother's funeral, but you've given us a great condolence gift. What?
Sheba was immensely disheartened when he heard the news, and the late madam helped him a lot.
My mother did seem to like Sheba very much. I'm sure Sheba's heartfelt mourning has helped my mother's soul rest in peace. In all honesty, though, she doubts Sheba's genuinely grieving over her mother's death. True, her mother and Sheba knew each other, and her mother did seem to favor Sheba. However, Sheba has never said anything considerate towards Spacey's mother when she was sick in bed. The thing is like, even if you don't really know someone and they pass away, you're like, oh, like, that's sad. And you feel for the people around, like, I think he would feel for us. He might not be like, oh, terribly sorry about Shigeko dying, because he didn't really know her. He's like, oh, that's too bad. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean he's happy about it. But, like, you can be, like, sadly indifferent. You know what I mean? Where you're like, it's not going to make me cry or feel depressed, but I do feel sad for the people, like, oh, the people that knew that person. You're like, oh, that's too bad, you know? But you're still going to be like, all right, back to work. Like, because it doesn't impact you the way it does when it's someone that you love and care about that dies. You know what I mean? So, like, I can't be, like, mad at him that he's not crying over our mom. It's our mom. You know? Like, there's a lot of people who probably weren't weeping hysterically when my dad passed away because, like, they might have been like, oh, that's too bad, and they're sad about it. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry for you and everything. Yeah, I get that, and I'm not expecting you to, like, well, you should cry about it. You know what I mean? Like, you know that that's not what's going to happen, so I don't know. Sheba's just like, he's probably like, well, I think if Sheba's really disappointed, it's because now he doesn't have it in with us, because our mother might have pushed us. I'm just kidding. I think he probably feels bad for us. You know what I mean? Because I do think he genuinely is interested in us, so I'm sure, you know. But he didn't come because we hurt him a little, and also he probably doesn't want to upset us more. So there's a lot going on here. Sheba's always arrogant, cruel, and toying with her. He hasn't really given her any other kind of impression. See, but then it's this! He did, though. You saw how sad he was and everything, and, like, you realize that you hurt him. You've realized a couple of times that things you've said or done have hurt him. So you have to know, even though he's coming across as arrogant, cruel, toying with you, he's like, whatever, that there is something more underneath, even if though you don't see it. You're like, God, he's so arrogant. I feel like there's something else underneath. But I'm still sticking with the arrogant, but, like, at least recognize that there's a little bit more to him. Is that man actually kind enough to mourn over another person's death? Come on. Again, you have to give him a little credit and be like, yes, maybe not as much as you're expecting him to over your mother, but... So, may I ask the purpose of your visit?
Yes, actually, Sheba is going to hold a small gathering at his house, and I'm here to extend his invitation.
Sheba's house? What kind of gathering?
Sheba hosts evening parties in his own house from time to time. He's come up with something different for the upcoming gathering. And this time he's planning to include a little event of exchanging ghost stories during the night of the next new moon.
Ghost stories? Exchanging ghost stories is an established summer tradition. People would gather and exchange ghost stories. After a person is done telling a story, they have to put out a candle. It's believed that once the 100th candle has been put out, a supernatural phenomenon will occur.
The timing of this, Sheba, is a little awkward. Not gonna lie.
Of course, 100 stories means the event takes a while to finish. Spacey wonders if one night is enough for those stories. Actually, she doubts people can even come up with 100 ghost stories. Spacey's honestly surprised that Sheba could come up with this decidedly slightly childish idea. And he wants me to be there? I like how she's like, people do this, and then it's like, God, it's so childish. You just got done saying it's a summer tradition. And I highly doubt anyone's like, yes, son, invite 100 of your friends and light some candles in the house. We're all gonna die. Kids and candles? Come on.
Yes, I understand that you have just lost your mother, my lady, so I would not want to force you. But should you ever change your mind, please be our guest.
Oh my God, he's gonna turn into a candelabra now. Our guest. Our guest. Sheba wants us to put his service to the test. I see. The man's light tone dampens Spacey's mood. She wonders why she's feeling dejected, but deep down she vaguely recognizes the answer. Her despondency must be caused by the fact that Sheba isn't here to invite her in person. The man used to sleep less just to make time to visit Spacey. But now he sent a messenger to invite her to his social gathering. Maybe he's trying to tell her something. I guess he's still mad about what happened to the necklace. I think I wouldn't say no to that. I would agree. But I also think, he's not mad. I think he's mad, but I think he's also hurt about it. So it's like a pride thing. Like, I'm upset about it, different types of ways. I'm not sure I can look you in the face right now. But also, knowing how much you know what I mean? There's a complexity thing there. It's not just, God, I'm mad about it. It's like, I'm mad and I'm hurt and I don't know if I can see, you know what I mean? There's a lot. The thoughts linger on Spacey's mind, and she becomes increasingly dejected. And again, he wouldn't invite her to his gathering if he hated her. Still, when Spacey thinks about all the times he would willingly spring into action for her, she's pretty positive that his feelings for her have waned. He shouldn't feel upset over it. Besides, that man is almost always forceful at each time we interact.
My lady.
Oh, I'm sorry. I beg your pardon? Spacey feels her cheeks grow hot when she realizes she's been caught lost in her own thoughts. She can't possibly ask this man why Sheba isn't here to invite her in person.
Not at all. I was just asking for your forgiveness because Sheba cannot come here to personally invite you.
Well, he must have his reasons.
Sheba's actually in
Shanghai. Well, oh my god. I didn't see the A, and I thought I'm like... Brandon, we're in Shanghai.
Sheba's actually in Shanghai now for business negotiations.
What? Shanghai?
Yes, he was not sure if inviting you after what happened to your mother would be a great idea, but while he was hesitating, he was forced to stay longer in Shanghai to take care of some issues. As such, he immediately ordered me to come here on his behalf. I'm sure Sheba himself wanted to personally give you his condolences. Please forgive him.
No, please don't apologize. I'm happy that he's so thoughtful toward my family. Yamazaki seems to have mistaken the blank look on Spacey's face earlier as a sign of her thinking about her mother. But then he apologized for Sheba's absence as if he's read her mind. For a second there, she thought her heart was going to give out.
Feel free to take your time before deciding on a response to the invitation. Please do not hesitate to give us a call, even on the day of the gathering, and we will prepare a car to pick you up.
Yamazaki's expression remains unchanged the whole time, and he bows just as deeply as he did in the beginning. He seems to be a serious man. Once he's conveyed what he came to the manor for, he leaves without even staying for a light chat. Left in the parlor alone, Spacey stands rooted to the spot with a nameless emotion coiling around her heart.
Love.
The realization strikes her then, as clear as day. She wanted Sheba to visit her. I wanted him to give me a chance to apologize. The gathering that will involve exchanging ghost stories will be her best bet if she wants to meet him in person. She wonders if she'll get a chance to talk with Sheba alone before the gathering. Knowing Sheba, he'll probably invite a horde of people, and since he'll be too busy chatting with every single guest, he won't have time to properly talk with Spacey. Still, she's relieved to know that Sheba hasn't completely cut her off. He's a prideful man. It's easy to imagine him getting fed up with Spacey because the necklace he made for her got destroyed. Apparently, though, he still isn't sick of her, and the fact has immensely relieved her. I know this isn't the time for me to be affected by every little thing Sheba does. That's right. Spacey has plenty of other matters she really should be thinking about. The Chinese bellflowers that drove her parents to their demise. Who's plotting this and what's their motive? She's positive that their deaths are unnatural, and she can't just sit idly without doing some investigation. Her father's case would likely go unsolved, just as Kyoko told her, and since her mother passed away due to an illness, she doubts the police would be willing to investigate further. Fujita's occupied with taking care of the household while Majima is scraping by with low wages he receives. Her brother hasn't changed. He still visits the red light district. Where's he getting the money for this? Bro, we don't have money! What she can do now is find out what's behind the baffling mystery that's blanketing the household. And, of course, because she's a woman, there's the ever-present issue of who will be her future husband. However, Sheba has nothing to do with my concerns about marriage. I want to apologize to him again, is all. Finding the enemy of her parents tops Spacey's priority list right now. That's the decision she's made, and she can't afford to allow other things to occupy her mind. Spacey, there you are! I know, okay, so, I know it's, over time, but, I was like, okay, when this scene ends, but then Mizuhito shows up, and, technically the transition to the sky and back was not a transition to a different scene, so, whatever. Oh, brother. Her brother opens the door without knocking first. I heard we had a guest. Yes, someone from Sheba's company. From that man's company. Mizuhito scowls and sighs in disgust. What does he want? The audacity. Has he forgotten his forceful behavior toward you at the Teikoku Hotel? Brother, I believe I told you before, but he didn't do anything to me inside the room. I swear. But I'm not going to swear anything about the shit he did in the car. And doesn't mean he didn't want to. The fact that he brought you to a hotel room says everything. You're too defenseless. Maybe. Her brother doesn't look like he's in the best mood right now, so Spacey chooses to shut her mouth. Mizuhito has never had a positive opinion about Shiba. She doubts anything she says at this point can change that. I don't think your brother's going to have a positive opinion about anybody you try to date. She herself used to hold Shiba in contempt, but the more time that passes, the further his straightforward feelings move her. That's because she's begun to realize that although his way of handling things is coercive, his feelings for her are probably real. So, what did someone from that man's company come here for? Shiba's going to host a gathering at his house, and I'm invited. Huh, unbelievable. Practically no time has passed since our mother departed, and he wants you to attend his little unsightly social gathering. My attendance isn't mandatory. He says I can give them a call on the day of the gathering if I feel like attending. Please don't tell me you feel like attending. I'm not sure yet. I'm stunned. I thought you'd reject the invitation right off the bat. Yes, a while ago I probably would have done just that. Spacey. He watches her with dubious eyes. Perhaps his sister's change of heart has caught him off guard. Still, now Spacey feels like she can understand why her mother was rather fond of Shiba. Maybe the man isn't a bad person. Her first impression of him was awful, to say the least, but now she just can't bring herself to hate him for the most part. Well, if you want to go, I won't stop you. If I do attend a gathering, I won't be staying for long. I'll just say hi and go home early. I mean, I don't think I have the energy to listen to 100 stories until dawn. 100 stories? Do you mean the 100 ghost stories? Seriously? Yes, seriously. Spacey chuckles at the look of astonishment on her brother's face. I know, it's weird, right? I didn't think Shiba would enjoy this kind of entertainment. I'm amazed he could come up with such a strange idea. Well, if that's what the gathering's about, then the guests will likely flock in one space, meaning he won't be able to easily try to do anything funny to you. Mizuhito looks frantically calmer, but he still can't conceal his distrust towards Shiba. And her brother's worries are justified. Thinking back on Shiba's actions until now, her brother must think that agreeing to attend his gathering is a foolish move. After all, they're talking about the same man who brazenly declared that he'd buy Spacey. She still resents that declaration of his, and whenever the memory resurfaces, she can feel resentment bubbling up inside her chest. First things first, I have to go meet Shiba and apologize properly for the necklace. If she does decide to go to Shiba's residence, it'll only be to apologize. That's it.
Yeah, right.
Spacey repeats the words like a mantra inside her head, ignoring the vexation swirling inside her chest. Alright, well this is a good place, I'm assuming, to stop. Although, oh my god, that took a long time to fade to black. Jesus. Whew, birds. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.